Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, female 32, lost my mother when I was young. My dad met my stepmom and got married to her shortly. I have a 2-half brother and we grew up together. I was dealing with issues and resorted to the outside for support. I found out I was pregnant when I was 17 and my dad was mad at me. He took away my college fund and saved it for my brother. He and my stepmom told me I needed to get a job since I wasn't going to college and ended up telling me to leave the house. When I was 7 months pregnant, I lived with my ex's family until my daughter was 2 years old. We got separated and moved out from my ex's family house and rented a place that I paid for by working at a restaurant. My daughter is doing well and is concentrating on school and art. I heard that my half-brother dropped out of college and that he got involved in debts that my dad ended paying off. My half-brother went back to live at his parents' house with his pregnant wife. But my dad couldn't pay mortgage anymore and decided to sell the house, pay for debts and buy a small apartment. My half-brother never reached out nor tried to have a relationship with me. I met him at the restaurant and he started telling me about what happened with my dad. I tried to end the conversation since I wasn't feeling comfortable. And 2 days after that, my dad was at my door. I told him he wasn't allowed to come in after he started asking about my daughter and suddenly started to care. I asked him why he came and he went on about his health problems, his daughter-in-law's issues with my stepmom and how the apartment was unbearable with the constant fights and arguments. He asked if I could take in my brother since his wife can no longer stay with them and is causing issues. He said that my apartment was spacious and it's only me and my daughter there. He said that his son can't afford a rent right now and that I should take this chance to get to know him and his family better. I told him I can't take him in. I didn't want to bring it up, but I reminded him that he kicked me out when I was 7 months pregnant. My dad told me that I'm his sister and needed to help and asked if I'd react differently if he was not my half-brother. The argument went on and he told me to not try to punish him using his son and that my stepmom will then be right about me if I refuse. We haven't talked since. And I have mixed feelings about this. I feel awful to be honest, and I don't even know how my daughter would react to this. Yeah, no. Dad doesn't get to basically disown her during her most vulnerable time in life and then get to turn around and ask her for her help. Also, nobody gives a damn about what stepmom thinks. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Your father abandoned you in favor of his new family, and now that it's gone to shit, expects you to help him. Don't allow these people anywhere near you or your daughter. Not the a-hole. Girl, no. Don't let him gaslight you into guilt. They kicked you out and forgot about you at one of the most vulnerable times in your life. Don't adjust anything for them. Your brother will figure it out if daddy stops saving him. You figured it out. No, ma'am. Don't allow any of this negativity into your space. And who cares what your stepmother thinks about you? She doesn't sign your checks, she doesn't pay your bills, and she doesn't help you with your child. Nope. Not the a-hole. He doesn't get to take away your college fund, give it to his son, then come back and ask for your help when his son squanders his opportunities. You're doing well for yourself and your daughter, and him adding that barb about his wife. Who even cares what his wife thinks, especially after all this time? Story 2. My wife's sister, her husband, and 2 teenage daughters came over to stay with us for a few weeks while they're renovating their house. Our son is away in college, so we put my nieces in his room and my in-laws in the attic, which has a big sofa bed in it. There's no bathroom in the attic or in our son's room, but there's a bathroom in the 2nd floor that they can all use. The problem we had is that none of them liked using the 2nd floor bathroom and would only use my wife's and I's ensuite bathroom in our bedroom. We made it very clear from the very first day that we have no problem with them staying over, but there were some boundaries that had to be respected in order for us to get along and not get on each other's faces. We told them our bedroom and our bathroom were off limits because that's our private space. They ignored this and started using our bathroom. On the very first day, I went to use my bathroom and saw a shit floating in it. I let it go because I thought it was a mistake. But they kept using our bathroom and mistakes kept happening. We kept finding unflushed poops, unflushed pees, and sanitary items inside the toilet. Gonna spare the details because my post exceeded the character limit. Apparently, this is common for them. It kept going on for a solid week. My wife and I tried to keep the peace at home. We thought we had to be the bigger person and try to work it out, so we could all be under the same room without murdering each other. But still, they kept using our toilet and denying it. When confronted, they had the nerve to play the victim and say we were making them feel like they were a trouble for us, and they would never disrespect our house rules. Yesterday, one of my nieces calls me over and says something's up with our toilet that's clogged and I should fix it. I go over there and see 2 bloody pads clogging the toilet, so I told her to pull them out. She started crying and screaming that I was abusing her because I was forcing her to touch something where everybody was doing their business. My in-laws came running when they heard her scream and started saying, "What the fuck is my problem? Why can't I just pay for a plumber to come fix it instead of making their daughter do it herself?" I reached breaking point and told them to get the fuck out. They aren't fit to live with others. They're fucking pigs for never flushing their shit, and asked if they have a scat fetish and get off in my wife and I having to find their shit in our toilet. They got very offended and we got into a screaming match, but I tried to collect myself. I had a stroke last year and told them to just get the F out. Now the rest of the family is blaming me because they have to pay for a hotel for the 4 of them for at least a month until they can move back into their house. So apparently it's my fault they're gonna run out of money. That is just gross. I can't believe OP put up with it for this long. If it were me, they'd be gone after the first time. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. This is the grossest little family quirk I've ever heard. I feel bad for the kids when they eventually move out. How embarrassing. Not the a-hole. This one is easy. Your house, your rules. You didn't ask very much of them, and they obviously don't give a shit about you or your septic system. Tell them they can come back if they give you $10,000 bond to cover the costs to repair a backed up sewer line from flushing their pads. Not the a-hole. They are shitty, LOL, guests. I'd have put my foot down when they used the ensuite that they were specifically asked not to use. Could your delivery have been better? Sure, but at that point, I think it was well deserved. Story 3. Background info. Okay, so my brother, 11, almost 12, is the youngest of 4. Call him 4. I, 20 female, am the second oldest, with other brother being the oldest, call him 1, and my sister, call her 3, 16, being the third. Growing up, brother 1 was never made to do chores, etc., because he was a boy and chores, housework, cleaning, etc. was a girl's job. Then when I was about 9 or 10, I had to take care of me and my younger sister, meaning I had to make sure we were up, fed, and walked to school. After school, again it was chores, and again my brother was a boy, my sister was too young and should be allowed to play with the toys. And 4, my youngest brother was only 2 or 3 at the time. So growing up, I was essentially given the mum role and even had to watch after them when my parents went out, with friends or night outs, etc. And I had to make sure they were fed, showered, put to bed, all while still being young. I questioned this and was told that I had to be the one to do it because 1 was a boy and wasn't mature enough, even though he was 15 or 16 at the time. older than me by 3 years. But yeah, 3 couldn't do it because she was too young, which I got, and 4 couldn't either. Anyways, now I, 20, am being made drop off and to pick the 2 youngest from school on any of my days off from work. No matter the shift I was the day before. I took a week off as I hadn't any time off in almost 4 months aside from 1 or 2 days, which I legally had to be given. But during that week, I was given the mum role again, which is never given to one as he is still considered not mature enough. He's now 23, and they say they wouldn't trust him to look after them, which I get, but still. They told me tonight I had to get my siblings from school, get them their dinner, and attend some plaything in the high school 4 is going to, whilst they go out shopping. Even after I told them that it's their child which they planned on having, and that I never chose to have a brother but was told I had to do my sisterly duties. Even though 3 doesn't have to do any of the things I was made or am made to do. I know it's probably just me being an a-hole, but I feel it's pretty shitty that just because I'm a girl, that I have to be the 3rd parent to children I never even wanted. So your opinions? Am I the a-hole? Edit. I still live at home and pay £20 a month for half a bedroom I share with my sister. I pay $200 for the gas and electricity, etc. that I use even though I am hardly in the house. Work almost all day and make dinner for everyone at night. They say that their time is over with being a parent because they've done it for so many years with the older 3 that now it's my turn. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. You are not their parent. Sister duties are not the same as parent duties. They are using you to parent their offspring by making you do all of this. Not the a-hole. I have literally lived your situation. Move the fuck out as soon as possible. And make a habit of being unavailable when the phone rings. If your mom is like mine, she'll still be calling you to get you to come over and do chores or discipline your baby brother. Hell, I got yelled at because I wouldn't drop what I was doing and come over to tell her if she'd hung a picture straight on the wall. Don't let that become you. Not the a-hole. But your parents are major dicks for making you be a mom to your siblings. I know things you grow up with seem normal, but this is not normal. I know you said you can't move out yet, but you can slowly start a plan to do so. Your parents stole your childhood, and they're going to keep taking your young adulthood too, if you let them. Story 4. My brother-in-law saw one of those stupid videos where they destroy the video game console in front of the child to teach him a lesson. I heard him planning on doing that to my nephew because he failed 2 courses at school. He is 12. I tried talking them out of it, telling them that's not the way. Sell it, hide it, whatever, just don't do it. That was my point. I told my nephew what they were going to do and asked him not to overreact. Just tell them you are disappointed or something that makes them feel bad. If he brings his grades up, I will get him a new PS4, but I want his stupid parents to feel guilty. Last week, my brother-in-law sat him on a chair, have a couple of a-hole friends holding him and proceed to destroy the PS4 with a baseball bat, while laughing and yelling and recording. My nephew had a poker face, did not move at all, and whispered something and laughed. His dad stopped, asked everybody to shut up and asked him, "What? Why are you laughing?" My nephew said, "You humiliated me. You took something that was mine and humiliated me in front of everybody. You are bigger, stronger, but everybody is helpless when they are asleep. I'm laughing because everybody is helpless when they are sleeping. If you are done, I want to go inside. There's something I need to think about." He had an entire week to prepare what to say, and this is what he came up with. And his delivery was fucking scary. I was speechless. Everybody was shocked. I said out loud, "Good parenting, everybody. Good job," and went after my nephew. I spoke with my nephew afterwards, and he said that he will tell no one I had told him, and he has no plans on doing anything to his parents at all. He just wants to teach him a lesson as I suggested. Now, my sister booked an appointment with a psychologist. They are sleeping with locks on their doors and caused a family crisis. And I feel like an a-hole because I just have to tell them what I did to patch things. But honestly, I just want to see where this is going.